everybody. You're listening to The Marketing of Business. We're brought to you by ACT, the region's business-to-business newspaper that tells you everything you need to know about marketing and brand development in the Delaware Valley and the five-county Philadelphia, South Jersey area. We come to you from the studios of WWDB. That's 860 on your AM dial. And our guest today is Steve Rosen, who has several titles and several business cards. Right, Steve?
Yes, I do.
He's the chairman emeritus of FranNet, which is a franchise expert selling business. We'll learn more about that. He's also the president of Sunbelt Network. So, Steve, you have to tell us what that means. You're a franchise expert.
Bonnie, I work with people who are interested in starting a business. And most people I work with have gotten to the point of saying, I want to do something. I'm interested in franchising. What do I do now? What FranNet does, we work with them, help them put together a business model. What are my skills? What are my interests? Where do I want to do it? How much do I want to invest? And then we'll introduce some franchises that we think fit the model.
How many yogurt franchises are people asking about? Because it seems as if there's one popping up on every corner wherever you go.
Well, it's a good example. We work with one. We work with Menchie's, which is the largest in the industry. We think it's going to be a survivor, and the ones that you've seen pop up on every corner, I think most of them will be gone in a fairly short time.
But everybody has a dream that if they work hard and if they do everything right and if it's a good product, if you build it, they will come, like Field of Dreams. Doesn't work that way, does it, Steve?
No, it doesn't. It can work like that. I mean, that's a key ingredient, but it's not the only ingredient.
How do people find you if they want to get advice on how to get into the franchise business?
Well, my office is in Bluebell, but FranNet, which I started in 1990, has offices throughout North America. We're headquartered in Louisville, Kentucky.
Do you go to Louisville often?
I came back yesterday at 8 o'clock in the morning from Louisville, yes.
Do you go to, what do they call it, the Kentucky Derby? Do you do?
Absolutely. We go to Churchill Downs. That's one of the attractions. It's also where the Louisville Slugger is, and that's also where Jim Beam and Maker's Mark Bourbon are produced.
We don't have any of that in the studio, Steve. Sorry.
I'm leaving.
We have water. All right. We'll be back after these messages.
The major holidays are almost upon us. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, and New Year's. Are you prepared for your holiday party events and other needs? Call Whims for Rent. They are a professional event planning company and can package your entire business or personal holiday event, or simply provide specific needs. They provide entertainment such as DJs or three-piece bands, Christmas carol choirs, or even Santa Claus. Other entertainment possibilities include walk-around magicians, fortune tellers, or look-alike celebrities. They aid large corporate events, smaller business attractions, and family affairs. Just tell them your goals. For a free consultation and free ideas, contact Whims for Rent at 484-562-0067. Again, that's 484-562-0067. They are located at 29 Bala Ave in Bala Cynwyd, Pennsylvania, or visit them on the web at www.phillybizmedia.com.
The Internet today is a must for businesses and organizations to represent themselves. A must. For the generations of business owners who did not have the advantage of an Internet education beginning in grade school, there is basic help. Call American Advertising Services at 484-562-0060. Our organization of marketing personnel, traditional and IT, will set up basic Internet advertising aids for your business or organization at a modest fee. Basics. No big deals, no big costs, just basics. Plus a free get-to-know-your-goals meeting. Call American Advertising Services at 484-562-0060. That's 484-562-0060. Be with it, or else you will be out of it. Again, call American Advertising Services at 484-562-0060.
Need a speaker for your business meeting, organization, social group? Need a speaker who is entertaining, informative, or both? Need a speaker who is an authority on a subject close to your interests? We provide them. We are this region's Speakers Bureau. Call us at 484-562-0067. 484-562-0067.
The championship competition for the world's best German Shepherd dogs is coming to the Philadelphia area. The German Shepherd Working Dog Competition, featuring the top German Shepherds from countries around the world, will be held inside the PPL Park Thursday, October 17th to Sunday, October 20th, 2013. The event is open to the public and is a wonderful family event. The championship competition for the world's best German Shepherd dogs, October 17th to October 20th. Watch as these dogs perform amazing tasks such as tracking, obedience training, protection maneuvers, and more. Tickets are on sale at pplpark.com. That's pplpark.com, or call Comcast Tickets at 800-298-4200. That's 800-298-4200.
We're back with Steve Rosen, who's the president of Sunbelt Network and chairman emeritus of FranNet, which is a local trusted franchise expert, except they're all over the United States. This is the Marketing of Business. We're coming to you from WWDB. That's 860 on your AM dial. And our sponsor is ACT, the business-to-business newspaper that tells you everything you need to know about branding and advertising and communications. So you ought to subscribe to it. ACT, A-C-T. Anyway, Steve, you were telling us about your corporate headquarters located in Kentucky, and you get to go to the Kentucky Derby every year.
Well, not anymore. It's rather expensive. The locals love it. It's a local institution. And frankly, if you've been there once or twice, you've seen it as many times as you want to see it.
How much are tickets to the Derby?
If you can get a ticket.
If.
They're not expensive, but if you have to buy them sort of in the aftermarket, people pay a couple $1,000s per ticket. Yeah.
Ooh.
You see horses run around a track. I mean, after all.
Is it like you have to wait till somebody dies till you inherit their tickets? That's the way it used to be with the Philadelphia Orchestra. You couldn't get season tickets until somebody died and left them to you. So who'd you sell your tickets to?
Well, I didn't have any tickets, but the company did. So a couple people from the company in Louisville attended, but they also used it as a incentive for some of our franchisors who we were trying to create a closer relationship with.
That'll do it every time.
There you go.
Well, we talked about the yogurt franchises. How do you spell that, Menchie's? I'm not familiar with that name. MENCHIE''S. Is that somebody's name, Menchie's? Or nickname?
I don't know.
Oh.
They're headquartered in California. I know that. And they have about 500 open units now throughout the United States and about another 300 under development.
500. What's the largest franchisor that you've ever done business with?
Great Clips, which is a haircutting franchise. And they have about 3,500 salons.
3,500. Woo! I never heard of Great Clips before. Are there any in this region?
Oh, there's quite a few in this region.
Huh. Do you avail yourself of their services? Do they do men's hair also, or just women?
They do everybody's hair. It's
a unisex?
It's unisex. It's a cheap rate. You can't make an appointment. You come in, you sit down.
Everything is walk-in.
Everything's walk-in.
Well, that's terrific when you have, both husbands and wives are working now, and it's very hard to find time to schedule something. If you get a half hour and you can zip in someplace, that'd be terrific.
Right. The interesting thing, Bonnie, is the owner of a Great Clips will not cut hair. Whether it's Menchie's or Great Clips or any of the franchises we work with, the person they're looking for is somebody who can manage the operation, manage people. So the owner would manage the people who cut hair, who do the shampooing, who manage the salon, and they will have generally multiple units, but they'll strictly be in a management capacity, not in an operational capacity.
Do you help them with their marketing as well?
Well, Great Clips does. That's part of the justification for their royalty fees.
That's the service that the franchisor offers to the franchisees, right?
That's right.
How did people find you, though?
Well, I'm pretty well known in this area. There's a lot of referrals. There's a lot of attorneys, bankers, just people who, when they think of franchising, know me.
Do you have a phone number where they can reach you?
My phone number in Bluebell is 610-941-2195.
That's 610-941-2195. Do you have a website as well, Steve? Everybody does these days.
Well, there's a FranNet website, www.frannet.com, and my email address is srosen@frannet.com.
Okay. It would seem that everybody would like to have a McDonald's because that seems to be a money machine.
It may be. In any franchise system, it's always a bell-shaped curve. You have some people who do very well. You have the middle that does pretty well. And then you have the other end of the curve, whether it's McDonald's or any other franchise that do less well.
What is your favorite franchise to match up with your clients? Are you allowed to say?
Well, it really all comes down to the person. Their
What do
interest,
you do? You do a personality psychology test?
That's exactly what we do.
Really?
And we help people put together a business model backed by the personality test. Because for somebody going into business, it always comes down to, what do I want to do? I would never do a McDonald's. Why? A lot of employees, a customer base that has no loyalty to you. They'll eat somewhere else if they like it better. It's an expensive business to go into. So I'm talking about me now, and you're right, there's a lot of people who would like to have a McDonald's, but it's not for everybody for those reasons. If it were me, I'm looking for something that might be education-based. I'm looking for something that may be a Great Clips. It's a semi-absentee business where I could use my management skills. It may be massage services, therapeutic massage. It's a very hot segment of franchising right now. And again, the owner of the business is not going to do massage, but the owner of the business is going to manage the therapist, do the advertising, handle the real estate.
I was going to say the rental and the electricity and the plumber and all those other things that go into running any kind of a bricks and mortar establishment.
Sure. And that's why many people will stay away from a business that's bricks and mortar. It may be a service kind of business that they can operate from home. They can operate from an office. They can operate from a van.
Give an example of a not for bricks and mortar, a service franchise. I can't think of anything right now.
Oh, there's many. A big one in really the world is a franchise by the name of ServPro, where they do damage restoration. If you have a flood, if you have a fire.
Oh, well, we got lots of those.
Indeed, we do.
ServPro. Yes, all the news this week has been about Hurricane Sandy, the aftermath, what's working, what's not working, how far we still have to go to rebuild, especially the Jersey Shore. Although New York City's got problems, Pennsylvania has problems. Anybody who touched the Atlantic Ocean coastline still is suffering from the after effects of Hurricane Sandy.
Absolutely. The other interesting thing about franchising is there is no correlation between the cost of getting into the business and the amount of money you can take out of the business. Bricks and mortar is going to cost more money. Home base will cost less, but you can make as much money from a home-based business as from a bricks and mortar business.
Okay. We're talking to Steve Rosen, who is with FranNet, a franchise expert, and he also has Sunbelt Network. And we're going to continue after these messages.
All American Sports Collectibles is the only place you need to know for all your autographed sports memorabilia. Jerseys, bats, helmets, and more signed by legends of the past and today's greats. All autographed items come with a certificate of authenticity plus an unconditional 30-day money-back guarantee. And all vintage items have been scientifically authenticated and come with 2 forensic certificates. Call us at 877-827-7822. That's 877-827-7822. Visit us online to see our extensive inventory of autographed sports memorabilia. That's aasportscollectibles.com. That's aasportscollectibles.com.
We're a Philadelphia advertising agency, American Advertising Services, and our job is to create solutions for your business problems. Do you want more customers, more sales for your products or business services? American Advertising has helped many, many area companies, large ones, small ones, family-owned firms just like yours. If you are in business and serious, make American Advertising your advertising agency. Per job assignments welcomed. American Advertising Services. We are serious about helping your business.
American Advertising Services is located at 29 Bala Avenue, Bala Cynwyd, PA 19004. 29 Bala Avenue, Bala Cynwyd, PA 19004. You can call them at 484-562-0060, 484-562-0060, 484-562-0060.
Welcome back to the Marketing of Business. This is your host, Bonnie Squires. We're coming to you from the studios of WWDB. That's 860 on your AM dial. And our sponsor is ACT, Advertising Communications Times, the region's business-to-business newspaper that focuses on advertising and public relations. And our guest today is Steve Rosen, who, if you want to start a franchise business, you call Steve Rosen at 610-941-2195. That's 610-941-2195. Now, Steve, let's find out something about Steve Rosen's background. What qualifies you to make a match between a client and a franchise? Where did you go to school?
I went to the University of Pennsylvania undergraduate. And then I
Were
went
you
to
Wharton or a college for men?
college.
College, okay.
Yeah. And I graduated with a degree in political science, to which my wife said, "You'll never get a job."
She was right.
She was right. So she sent me to law school.
Where'd you go to law school?
To Villanova.
Okay. And I guess you were a local?
I was originally general counsel at Amco Transmissions in King of Prussia. And then I joined a company in this area by the name of Safeguard Scientifics. I was
Pete
general
Musser.
counsel. Pete Musser.
Oh, wow.
Pete was
Then
my
you
mentor.
And you know Rob McCord.
No, came after my time.
Oh, after your time.
I moved on to Safeguard Business Systems when they spun it off. I moved over as counsel and then president of the company, but we were taken over in the late 80s. But Rob McCord was part of Safeguard Scientifics, but he joined Safeguard long after I had left Safeguard. I was with Safeguard for almost 20 years. But
well, you were there before the fall, right?
I was there before the fall. Indeed, I was.
It was a heady time to be with Pete Musser.
If they had kept me, there wouldn't have been a fall.
Anyway, what did you you majored in political science. What on earth did you think? Were you going to run for office?
I was going to be a South American dictator.
How did that work out, Steve?
There weren't any openings.
Oh. Now, when you give this personality test, do you have a psychologist on staff who administers a test that really figures out? I mean, suppose somebody comes into you and says they think there'd be good money in buying a franchise for like dog grooming, and then you find out they're allergic to dogs. I mean, you know.
It doesn't quite work like that. The questionnaire that we use, the model we use, was done in conjunction with a psychologist. A person will go online, do our questionnaire, and from that, we will get a model of that person before we meet with them. So if the model says pet grooming, when we meet face-to-face, if I were to bring up that business, the answer will be, I may love the business, but I would break out all the time in my business in hives. So that's how we get down to the 2 or 3 that we begin to investigate with them to decide if it's something they really want to do.
What happens if someone doesn't have either the people skills or the supervisory skills? Because you have to be a supervisor. If you're going to own a franchise and have people working for you, you have to know how to be a supervisor, how to be a boss, right?
It depends on the business, Bonnie. There's some businesses that are what we call owner-operator businesses, where the owner of the business will operate the business, do the work. And the need to manage people is not required. They'll be good at constructing something. They'll be good at repairing something. And they're good franchises. The franchisor will say, this is where you get customers. This is the type of services you can offer, but you really don't need employees. But that's one of the criteria. If you're not good at managing employees, we want to know that. We will show you a different kind of business.
Do you have a representative of the franchise come and meet in your office with you and the prospect?
It happens, but that's not the general rule. Generally, we will meet with the prospect. We will bring them together either via the internet or on the phone with the franchisor and the franchisor.
Or Skype?
Perhaps on Skype. And the franchisor generally will hold what's called a discovery day. They will invite them out to their corporate headquarters to explain the system.
Okay. And I'm trying to think, what are some of the well-known brands of franchises that you can present to people?
Well, we work with the Goddard School. We work with Huntington Learning Centers. We work with Meineke Car Repair. A lot of the names that you consider well-known are the big consumer brand names. But there's a lot of other businesses where unless you've been a user of the service, you wouldn't know of them, although they happen to be terrific franchises. It can be a business-to-business type of franchise. It can be advertising. It can be graphics. It can be sales training.
Did you ever own a franchise?
Well, the Sunbelt part of my business is a franchise.
Okay. Where's Sunbelt located?
Well, the local office is also in Bluebell.
Right.
But Sunbelt, the company was founded in South Carolina many years ago. So there was actually some sun there, but today it's headquartered in Cleveland, where there's very little sun and a lousy football team.
How often do you have to go to Cleveland?
Almost never.
You do it by phone,
We do it by phone.
Email?
By email, yep. Of course, my local office, in Bluebell, that's where I meet with clients. That's where I meet with business owners who want to sell their business. I meet with prospects to buy the business. But the support that I get from Sunbelt is done interactively.
And what's your biggest success story so far? Is there one or there are many?
There are many. Over the years, I've helped
do people name their babies after you because they're so happy with the franchise that they bought into?
Well, sometimes they'll name the baby after because illegitimately I'm the father, but that's another. That's a whole nother subject.
You're evil, Steve Rosen. Oh my goodness. Oh, do they send you Christmas cards or something or?
Well, they do. I also stay in touch with many
and a free
of the people.
Yogurt. A card for free yogurt?
Indeed, yes. Yes.
I've never thought about owning a franchise. I've gone to the openings of some, which I realize now must be, I mean, like whenever a yogurt place opens, they invite the community for free yogurts the first day. And I went to one of those out in Haverford last summer. And it was a long, long line. It was fun. But I never went back. I have to confess, after that first time, it was fun. But I don't.
Is it because you didn't like the product? Or
no, I love frozen yogurt. But I'd rather have it in my freezer so I can have it whenever I want it instead of having to go out. I don't have time to ride around and look for a yogurt place, let me tell you.
There's so many of them around now, you don't have to ride that far.
That's true, but there used to be one right near my house, but they went out of business. Well, as you were saying, they're not all successful, all of these franchises.
We have seen over the years trend businesses. It can be coffee, it can be bagels, it can be high-fat content ice cream, it can be low-fat content ice cream. And somebody becomes very successful in the business, it's followed by a lot of imitators, both in franchising and non-franchising. What will happen, though, will be everybody who wants frozen yogurt will have a favorite place to go to. So if you're the business owner, you want to be with a franchisor who's thinking of what the business might look like in 2 years, in 3 years, because every food business is dynamic. People's tastes will change. So
it depends what the hot movie star is seen eating or drinking or wearing, right?
Indeed. Yeah,
Well, if people are interested in exploring this, or if they have a business they want to sell, or if they want to merge with somebody, they can contact Steve Rosen at 610-941-2195. That's 610-941-2195. And give us your web address.
My FranNet web address is www.frannet.com. My Sunbelt web address is www.sunbeltnetworkpa.com.
And the skills you used when you were general counsel for Safeguard Scientifics, which skills translated into what you're doing now?
It's really the ability to deal together. Whether in my Safeguard days, the only way you could make a deal is to have people, buyers and sellers, who trusted each other, whose needs were being met. And we do the same thing here, whether it's a franchise or the sale of a business. My skill is bringing people together, getting them the information they need to make an intelligent decision, and trusting themselves that they've made a good decision.
Do you have kids?
Indeed, I do. In fact, one of them in Virginia is in the FranNet business in Virginia.
I love it. Our guest today has been Steve Rosen of FranNet and Sunbelt Network. And this is your host, Bonnie Squires, signing off. We'll see you next week.